What is going on, Rain Gang family? What is happening, Ravens flock? We got some huge news out of the castle today as the Ravens just actually wrapped up their first joint practice of the offseason with the Minnesota Vikings. Lots of things to touch on in regards to that. Also, some funny news about a former right guard who used to play in Baltimore. We're going to get to that and so much more here on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. But before I run the intro, please be sure to like the video.
You're watching Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe for more Ravens content.
Yes, sir. And just like that, we are back with another episode of Quiet Storm Sports right here on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Sutton Def. You can find me at all platforms at Sutton Def. And listen, we've got a lot of things to address today on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports, this live edition of Quiet Storm Sports, as usual, right? If you are in the live chat, please sound off. Let me know you are here. Like the video, sub to the channel if you are new. And if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, salute to you as well whenever you might be listening to this. You know, maybe late at night, maybe on your commute to work the next day, whatever. Thank you so much for coming through to this episode. We got a lot to talk about. So do not touch that dial. Do not touch that iPhone, that Samsung, that smart TV remote, whatever you're watching this on. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, okay? I promise you. We got some things to get into. Before we do that, though, let me give a shout out to who's here in the live chat. Stretch626 in the chat. What's going on, Stretch? Bo Knows in the chat as well. I see you, Mr. 205 Young Savage. Let me see. Void is in the chat. What up, Void? New mod status for my guy Void. Shout out to him. He's also Silver Gang, too. Silver status for my boy Void. Stop playing with him. Samuel Banks 2522 says, go Bateman. Is this what we doing? Is this what we doing now? Samuel, thank you for coming through. But is this what we doing? Is this what's happening right now? Do my eyes deceive me? Do I see the narrative changing in real time? We're going to talk about it. Void's also Sharpie Gang. Yes, you are. I don't know if you want to stay Sharpie because, I mean, Bateman's just been proving you wrong every single step of the way. But, you know, we'll get into it. The man is in the chat, says, what's up, Slutton? What's going on, the man's insider there? For those of you guys who watch the show regularly. King Blaze in the chat says, yo, what's going on, King Blaze? 410 Twin says, your boy cutting up. Ain't he though? What up, 410 Twin? King Blaze says, Jumpman Jack. I mean, he had some good and some bad. We're going to cover it all. Don't get me wrong. We are going to cover it all on this episode. Spicy Rice in the chat. I see you. And Smitty's in the chat as well. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate all of y'all for coming through. Now, I wanted to start off this episode by addressing a topic that actually has nothing to do with the Baltimore Ravens. I want to start with the fact that former Ravens right guard Daniel Faalele was traded away from the New York Giants this morning, and he is now a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Before I go any deeper, because listen, I'm gonna get back to it in just a second. Miss Fancy Pants in the chat. What's going on, Miss Fancy Pants? Another member in the house. Shout out to all of our members. Miss Fancy says, Sutton, did you tell Bubby that I said happy birthday? I did indeed. And she actually was overwhelmed with joy with all the support and all the love that she got from the Rain Gang channel members on her birthday. She, I read all of the comments to her, all the names and everything like that. We truly do appreciate all the love. We had a great time yesterday. Again, that's why I wasn't live yesterday. Didn't put out any content yesterday. Luckily, the Ravens didn't practice. But yeah, she thanks you guys all for the birthday wishes. She does. And thank you for coming through, Miss Fancy. ISO, I see you in the chat as well. Another member in the chat. What up? All right, back to this Daniel Faalele nonsense, right? I'm pissed. Royally pissed. For a few reasons. Those reasons may be obvious because you guys are all Ravens fans too. You guys see what's going on. Y'all see what's going on. The Giants are trading guard Daniel Faalele to the Jaguars for a 2027 late round pick. Faalele started all 34 games over the last 2 years in Baltimore and came to the Giants to reunite with John Harbaugh. But now he's headed to Jacksonville. I don't want to sound like that bitter ex, right? I don't. Bistro Chef, thank you for the jewels. Flow State, I don't want to sound like the bitter ex. But damn it, I'm going to do it today. Fuck John Harbaugh. Like literally. I'm tired of beating around the bush. Cuz what are we doing here? You're telling me, let me get this straight, Harbs. Let me get this straight. You're telling me that you allowed Daniel Faalele to be the starting right guard to protect Lamar Jackson, a 2-time, should be 3-time MVP. Saved your job, Lamar Jackson did. And you entrusted all 6'7" and 370 or 385 pounds of ass that is Daniel Faalele to be a constant turnstile in front of Lamar and put him in harm's way. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. For 2 years, John Harbaugh got up on that podium after games, during the week, media scrums, all that good stuff, right? And told us with a straight face, no, I mean, I think the offensive line is playing fine. Oh, Daniel Faalele, I mean, that's my guy. I mean, you know, there's some really good things on tape. I'm sure there's some things that we can look at, but for the most part, he looks good to me. It's like, John, this is not a subjective thing. Like, your opinion at this point does not matter. That dude is ass. Okay? He had a little stretch in 2024 where he was playing decent. Right? But that's not the average. That's not the in aggregate, that's not what was happening. That's not what was going down. The sum of all snaps that Daniel Faalele took in Baltimore equals he's ass. Let's just call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is. So boom, right? 2 years, Daniel Faalele was good enough to protect Lamar Jackson. But after 13 snaps of Daniel Faalele in the preseason, after 13 snaps, John Harbaugh finally said, I've had enough of Daniel Faalele. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Not watching Lamar Jackson get his foot stepped on in practice, allegedly by Daniel Faalele. Not watching Lamar Jackson get blown up and chased around the pocket like Tom and Jerry because Daniel Faalele couldn't block for shit. And excuse my language today, chat, but this makes me mad. Like I said again, I'm pissed. I'm royally pissed. And if you are too and you're a Ravens fan, please let me know. Drop it down below in the comments. Like the video. We got 77 damn people watching live right now. How poetic is that? How poetic is that? Like the video, y'all. Sub if you're new. But 13 snaps was all it took. You cannot tell me that this was not a calculated move by John Harbaugh. You can't tell me. This is ridiculous. You told us for 2 years that guy was actually good at football. That's what he told us. For 2 years. Then John Harbaugh gets fired. We release Daniel Faalele, and John Harbaugh says, you know what? Let me mess with the Ravens just for the one time, just for old time's sake. Let me hire Daniel Faalele, put him on my squad. Let him go out there in the preseason and embarrass himself in the same fashion that he did over the last 2 years with Baltimore. I'm going to let him embarrass himself in his first preseason game. Then we're going to ship him out of town. See how the Ravens fans feel about that. Boy, Harbaugh, if you don't. Like the video if you think John Harbaugh needs his ass whooped. Because I do. Okay, because I do. He needs his ass whooped. So he can protect Dart, but no Jackson? We know why. Mm. Mm. Total 10 Speed says Faalele got dart touched one time and they sent him packing. Lamar got hurt and Harbaugh was still going to run it back with the whole crew. Like, you know how they say like some people can be loyal to a fault? I mean, I feel like John Harbaugh's loyalty is more nefarious than anything. Kid weighs one. Appreciate the jewels. Where's Harbaugh hiding at? Because I'm ready to turn his ass everywhere but loose. Every which way but loose. I'm pissed. Royally pissed, chat. We got a super chat donation. This one's coming from my guy, Void. Get a new moderator in the chat. Silver Gang, Sharpie Gang, all that. Thank you, Void, dropping the 5. Void says, move to keep himself from getting gelded by the New York media for another 36 hours. Same guy he practically pre-ordered as a player. He knew 77 for a while. Yeah, he did, because, you know, he came up through one of those Australian or foreign exchange developmental plans that the league has going on and stuff, and John Harbaugh knew about him for a long time. So, yes, you're absolutely right about that, Void. He did pre-order Daniel Faalele. Then once he found out Daniel Faalele was ass and he got fired partially because of that, his refusal to actually play the best guys, then he goes to the Giants and says, you know what? I'm going to pull a trick. I'm going to pull a move. I'm going to pull a fast one. I'm going to pull a fast one on the Ravens. Bring Daniel Faalele to New York. And maybe that is what happened. Maybe that New York media really it heated up like quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because it wasn't going to take long. It was never going to take long for Giants fans to see what we saw out of Daniel Faalele. It was never going to take long. So he goes out there in that first preseason game. Listen, guys. Listen. It wasn't going to take long. So I guess the New York media, they kind of got hip to it quicker than he would realize, or quicker than he thought they would. Harbaugh, that is. And he said, you know what? Let me just go out and get ahead of it. Hey, Joe, the general manager, let's go ahead and trade this guy. You sure, Harbaugh, you bought him? Yeah, let's go ahead and trade him. Yeah. I listened to the New York radio this morning. They're already calling me an idiot. They're already saying Ravens fans were right. And I can't have that. So let's get this guy out of town. And they traded him for a Laffy Taffy. Right? A bag of Skittles. Half-eaten bag of Skittles. An hour later. Right? An hour later with the paper that's still stuck on it, even after you unravel it. That's and warm out of your pocket. That's what they traded him for. Nothing. I believe the report said it was a 6th round pick that they traded him for. Again, a Laffy motherfucking Taffy. Is this what you thought of Daniel Faalele all along? Because if it was, why did you subject Lamar Jackson to that for 2 years? I need answers. I know I won't get them, but I need answers. Lord, man. Void, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. They done piss me off. They done piss your boy Sutton off, man. Backdoor ball. Yeah, for sure. They traded him for I got you tomorrow. Says world class. What's going on, world class? Whatchamacallit? Golly, man. Traded him for a Laffy Taffy. And that's all Daniel Faalele can do on the field is shake his Laffy Taffy ass and block nobody. Pause. I need a reporter to press Harbaugh about this. Yeah, for sure. Read through some more of these chats here. The Hawk TV says Sutton, the man, had a one of his Giants as part of the New York Giants, and look what he did to him. Yeah, man, got him up out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Fancy Pants says it probably wasn't his decision to trade him. Harbs probably fought tooth and nail. I don't agree. I don't agree with this, Miss Fancy Pants. I don't agree. And the reason why I don't agree is because John Harbaugh answers to nobody in New York but the owner. He negotiated that in his contract that he does not want to answer to the GM. He wants him and the GM to be equal, and the only people that sit above him or them would be the owner of the Giants. Therefore, I believe Giants general manager Joe Sheen went to Harbaugh knowing that that was his guy, knowing that he brought him over from the Ravens. And he said, hey, what do you think about trading this guy, moving off this guy? Because what do you need a 6th round pick for in August? Like, what does that do for your team? I think that they collaborated on the idea. And I think they both came to a mutual agreement that, hey, look, we're going to get this guy out of town. Now, for John, again, the ulterior motives, nefarious as ever. Diabolical. Right? So that's what I think happened. You can't tell me that John Harbaugh did not have his hands on this in some way, shape, or form. I refuse to believe it. Listen, guys, don't forget to join the Rain Gang. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We'd appreciate that. Football season is back. It's back. Sincerely Q says, Sutton, what up, though? What up, Sincerely Q? Appreciate you for coming through. Okay. Ballpark gum. No, for sure. You got traded for the gum on the bottom of your shoe. Yeah. Definitely signed off on the trade. Mike says, good people, 15 minutes in, is Sutton done with the bait glaze or he hasn't started? Listen, I haven't even gotten started. I haven't even gotten to that. We're still on this Daniel Faalele thing. I'm about to transition over as we have over 100 people watching live. I'm going to get into the good, bad, and ugly. The good, bad, and ugly about today's training camp joint practice. We're going to get to that in a second. Let me see. Void dropping another 2-piece in the chat. Thank you so much, Void. Says, got tired of the Faalele fellatio and traded him. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's gross. For one, Void. Two, yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what Daniel Faalele, maybe he had some dirt on John Harbaugh for so long. I'm not sure. But now, Daniel Faalele is a Jacksonville Jaguar. And guess what? The Ravens play the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. I believe it's week 9. I believe we play them in week 9. And boy, I can't wait. Now, we know Daniel Faalele is not going to be a starter out the gate for the Jaguars. But boy, am I hoping that by the time week 9 rolls around, he's out there starting. Maybe somebody got hurt. Again, I never wish for anybody to get hurt, but just if the stars align perfectly, I need to see Daniel Faalele up against Travis Jones. I need to see Daniel Faalele up against Nnamdi Madubuike. I need to see Daniel Faalele up against Calais Campbell. That's what I need to see. Yeah, it's hate. It's vengeance. That's what it is. Okay. Dylan dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Thank you so much. Says 6th-round picks are important. Really? Really, dude? Really, Dylan? 6th-round picks are important. You let me know what percentage of 6th-round picks turn into solid starters in this league. Go look it up for me, Dylan, please. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Man. All right. Is Makari still there? I believe he is. I believe he's just hurt right now. I believe he's hurt. Let's go ahead and get into some other news, though. We got some other things we need to get into. I don't want to spend too much time on Laffy Taffy Faalele or whatever we're calling them these days, right? So the good, the bad, and the ugly from Ravens training camp, joint practice training camp, that is, with the Minnesota Vikings. We might as well start here, right? We got a lot of clips, lots of clips. I'm very thankful that the Ravens media team in Minnesota, honestly, shout out to Minnesota's media team. They have given us a ton of clips from the training camp. Dylan says, dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Says, just ask EDC. Well, yeah, pretty much. He love him some picks. You know what I say? I'm at the point now where it's like F them picks. and a sixth rounder, again, sixth rounder, you're not really doing anything with that. But here's the first one, okay? Here's the good. We're going to show some good first, again, then the bad, then some ugly. Rashad Bateman. All right? And yes, I'm starting with bait, stretch. I am. I see you in the chat. Rashad Bateman. And as a matter of fact, everybody who's already ingratiated themselves in the bait hate book, drop the bait hate book in the chat if you remember. The emoji's there. Everybody who's in the bait hate book, and you know who you are, step into my office, close the door behind you. We got some things we need to discuss. Because why has Rashad Bateman quiet as kept, right? Not a lot of the fan base wants this to get out, hit the airwaves, hit the streets. Why has Rashad Bateman quietly been the best wide receiver in Ravens training camp so far? Oh, son, but what about Jacoby Lane? Yeah, I mean, Jacoby Lane, he's louder right now. He's louder. See, the thing about Jacoby Lane, and I'm going to get to him too. The thing about Jacoby Lane is, again, he's that fresh new toy that everybody wants to play with and, and look at and things like that. That's why, and void with the hate, the happy poop hate. I get it. But everybody has to, what was I saying? Oh, with Jacoby Lane. We're forcing him. The media, the Ravens media, the beat reporters, the NFL media, like they're force feeding Jacoby Lane to NFL fans. And I get it. Here's how I know that they're force feeding us. You guys know the beat reporters, your Jeff Zarebeks of the world, your Jonas Schaefers, your Cordell Woodlands, friend of the show. Those guys. And let me just play this for y'all while I talk, because y'all need to see this. Anywho, cooked them off the line. Golly. Came back to the ball too. Nice catch going to the ground. Jeez, man. But the reason is because whenever Jacoby Lane makes a play in training camp, guess what? The beat reporters immediately pull out their phones, and I mean all of them, and they get their Twitter fingers going, and they immediately post about Jacoby Lane. When Rashad Bateman has a good day, makes a good catch, you don't hear about it until the end of training camp practice. Because you know what these beat reporters do? Most of them don't just live tweet what they see. Most of them have a journal, a notepad, something. Legal pad. They're taking notes throughout the entire practice. And then at the very end of practice, they'll post their notes on Twitter one by one. Trust me, I know, because I cover this team very closely up to the second when it comes to these practices. I make videos and content on it. You guys know this. So my point is, Rashad Bateman, he's been making noise, a lot of noise, and consistently in training camp. A lot of people don't want to hear it, but he's been making noise consistently. His route running looks crisp. His hands look good. His speed looks good. Look at that acceleration. I mean, he could have went way deeper down the field. It was just the route. I mean, he cooked the dude on the route so bad. I almost wish it was an option route where Bateman could have just kept running straight. Could have just went deep. I almost wish that. Void with the jewels. Man. We got a bait hater. We got a bait hater in the chat, y'all. Nitro is here, y'all, from the Wonderkin Show. Shout out to Nitro. Thank you for coming through. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Jacoby. I'm gonna get to Jacoby. Trust me. I mean, I sat there and I told you guys, you and Coach on the show last week, that Jacoby Lane could be potentially challenging for wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done. We'll see. He's still young. But just my way too early projections, that is on the table. I'm not mad at Jacoby Lane being reported on and things like that. I'm just saying that since he is new and fresh to the league and fun, they are pushing him a lot more. He's in every news story. Let me ask you guys this. Have you heard anybody in the national sports media really discussing the Ravens preseason week 1 win over the Eagles? Because I haven't. And when I have heard about it, all anybody's talking about is the 3 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown that Jacoby Lane produced. And fair is fair. I mean, look, it's fair. Third round pick, wide receiver. I mean, he's 6'4", all of 6'4", huge hands. He looked good out there, attacking the ball, being physical, right? Fighting his way to the goal line. I mean, he looked good. Don't get me wrong. But we cannot ignore the things that we're seeing in training camp here. Another super chat donation. This one's coming from Gabe's. Appreciate you, Gabe's. What's Gabe's talking about? Nate Wiggins has been saying Bate is hard AF to cover because he is, man. There's nothing he can't do. Nobody's ever been able to tell me something that Rashad Bateman cannot do well on the football field as a receiver. Okay, maybe he's not the most devastating blocker on the outside, right? Cool, I'll give you that. But that's also not some huge issue, glaring issue that we've talked about over the last couple of years either. But outside of that, like in terms of the skill of the position, he can do it all. And you guys know it. I mean, we know it. Okay? We know it. So, again, Rashad Bateman continues to turn heads. He was one of the Jeff Zrebiec actually reported today. Rashad Bateman was the best Ravens wide receiver on the field today. He was. And I feel like there's a very specific reason for that. All right? I feel like there's a very specific reason for that. I want to pull up another clip. Let me see if I can find it here. But it pretty much explains the reasoning as to why I believe Rashad Bateman is going to have a bounce back season. That's what I think. Here it is right here. Very important details in Lamar Jackson's mechanics. Take a look. Take a look at this. This is important. Now, I don't know if you guys have already read this article. Jonas Schaefer put this out. Shout out to him from the Baltimore Banner. But look at the feet placement. Look at the feet placement of Lamar Jackson pre-snap. Oh, Sutton, why is this important? I'm getting there. Well, you look on the left. This is a clip from 2025 training camp where Lamar Jackson would take snaps out of the gun with his right foot further ahead of his left foot. Even though he's a right-handed quarterback and you would ideally want to drop back, and when you hit your back foot, you're in a rhythm. There's no wasted motion. For some reason, Lamar Jackson, I guess, was always taught or coached to start plays like this. Now, in 2026, Declan Doyle and quarterbacks coach Israel Wolfork have coached Lamar Jackson into a new pre-snap stance where his right leg is further back than his left. What does this do? It eliminates all wasted motion. And if you eliminate wasted motion on your drop back as a passer, it will make you a much more efficient passer. It'll make you be able to get the ball out a lot quicker because you're ready to throw a lot quicker. And what does that do for your receivers who rely on you being on time? They flourish. So it's a small technical detail. It's a very small technical detail in Lamar Jackson's pre-snap stance that I believe is going to really show you and unlock Rashad Bateman. Because as we all know, Rashad Bateman, he's not a Zay Flowers. He's not a Hollywood Brown. He's not a scramble drill guy. He is a route running technician, a savant, if you will. Hey, I'm gonna get my release. I'm gonna get to the top of my route, and I'm looking for the ball. I'm expecting the ball to be damn near already in the air, on time. And what happens is with Lamar Jackson a lot, because Lamar Jackson held the ball top three. He was top three in the league in time to throw. Right, he held the ball a lot. Him, guys like Caleb Williams, they held the ball a lot. Okay. And when you have Lamar Jackson getting the ball out a lot quicker, I do believe that benefits Rashad Bateman. Now, I want to show another clip here from training camp today that kind of gives you that idea. Let me see. Here we go. Let's take a look at this one, right? Let's take a look at this one, chat. So you see this is in 7-on-7. You got Rashad Bateman lined up out wide. Same thing. If you notice, if you really look close, you can see that Lamar Jackson's right foot is behind his left foot. Because the idea is you don't want any wasted motion getting into your throwing stance. You want to catch that ball already being able to move directly backwards and into your drop so you can make this throw. And you can see how it benefits Bateman. Lamar takes his 3-step drop, and on time, and over the middle, by the way, Rashad Bateman not running clear out routes like Todd Monken had him doing in 2025. Or I don't know whose idea that was, but the ball's right on time to Rashad Bateman. Right on time. And if you guys don't understand that like this is going to be happening all season, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to have Rashad Bateman running intermediate routes, Lamar Jackson hitting his back foot and getting the ball out. That's what we're going to see. And I cannot wait for it, man. And I cannot wait for it. And the Bateman glaze, it's not even a Bateman glaze, Spicy Rice. It's not even a Bateman glaze. It's just the facts. Them just the facts, bro. You guys can see it right here with your own 2 eyes. All of you. All 130 of you who are watching right now. By the way, please like the video if you are enjoying the content. But I've been saying this all year. At some point, y'all got to give me some credit, man. Dylan dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan says Bateman's going to be in the UFL or CFL soon enough. All right, Dylan. Thank you for that troll right there. And thank you for the $2 super chat donation. But yeah, you guys can't deny it anymore. It is what it is. It is what it is. E-Man, thank you for the sub, E-Man. Bateman will get it done. I agree. Tanja says, I just got in the chat and y'all talking about Bateman. I mean, we kind of have to. Right? He's been doing it up. Bateman is going to KILL if Lamar Jackson has time. Yes, he is. He is. Man. G-Man says this type of change seems so small, but so critical. Like, why hasn't it happened years ago? I mean, this is what coaching is. I mean, you saw it in the Ravens wire. Remember last week? There's so many new things that these players are learning that they just did not ever get taught before from Harbaugh or any of his guys. Venga Ioane, or no, was it Venga? No, it was Ronnie Stanley. 10+ year vet in this league, right? Multiple time Pro Bowler. You know, I'm pretty sure he's been an All-Pro at some point. But he was getting coached up by Dwayne Ledford, the offensive line coach and run game coordinator. And you can tell, like, he was getting taught some stuff that he had never knew before. Never knew before. And it's the same thing with the stuff with Lamar, man. Same thing. The difference is we have actual teachers in the room. We have actual teachers in the room. Not just culture vultures. Because you know how they say John Harbaugh, a culture? No, I'm calling him from now on a culture vulture. DNSV, thank you for the sub. Thank you. Oh, man. All right. Let me go ahead and move on here. What else do we have? The good. We had a lot of good. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of good from today, but there was also some bad. So we got to get to that too in a few minutes here. You had Kyler Murray struggling on offense a bit, right? Let me see. There was a tweet from a Vikings fan who I guess was at the practice as Kyler Murray was off the mark again. Seems like the Ravens are kicking our ass out there. You damn right them Ravens are kicking your ass. So look, little pass rush action here. Stuff does change post snap too, man. You can just tell. You can tell. You can't tell who's coming. You can't tell who's coming, for the blitz, who's rushing the passer, who's dropping back. And it really just confuses guys. And if it's confusing a vet like Kyler Murray, imagine what it's going to do to a Tyler Shuck in week 2, who's not going to have Jordan Tyson or Alvin Kamara. Imagine what it's going to do to a Cam Ward. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a guy that needs all to go right to be a consistent threat. Great players force change and make the most of poor situations. He doesn't force change, and when, poop emoji, hit the fan he fell. Be real.
All right, Void. All right. I mean, I don't really know what you want me to do, Void. I mean, let me just reread what you're saying here. And thank you so much for the 10, brother. So it sounds like a guy that needs everything to go right to be a consistent threat. Great players force change and make the most of poor situations. He does not force change. And when shit hits the fan, he fell. Be real. Brother, respectfully, I'm being as real as I possibly can right now. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it anymore. That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of football being back, chat. You don't have to take my word for it anymore about Rashad Bateman. Have we seen him in a game yet? No, but we've seen him before in games, and he's been effective. There was always just something missing. There was always something missing within our offensive game plan and scheme that did not allow him to be unlocked in the way that he should. Okay? And I'll put it like this. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I know we're all familiar with that saying. I feel like it couldn't be truer. I feel like, and I said this over the, months ago, Declan Doyle and Jesse Minter are going to pull up to the Ravens, castle. They're going to open the garage and see everything that's been kind of like forgotten about and is collecting dust that actually had some value at one time. They're going to say, what can we do with this? How can we make this guy work for us, even though it didn't work for them? And that's exactly what Rashad Bateman is. He's that old dusty antique that's sitting in the corner of the garage that nobody has touched for years. And they're saying, let's dust that off. It probably still has some value. And you're seeing it in real time that Rashad Bateman does still have value. As a route runner, as somebody with strong hands, great speed, good size. He's got it all. He's got it all. Just needed the coaching. Just needed the ideas. The think tank needed to change. And now it has. So I'm being real, Void. Because it's right in front of you now. I know we're looking at Ravens pass rush here. And an incomplete pass by Kyler Murray. But it's right in front of you. It's right in front of you. Rashad Bateman is doing his thing. Hate to break it to y'all, but he is. He is. Okay, but that is. Thank you so much, Void, again for the donation. But that was that in terms of Kyler Murray being under duress. Pass rush is looking good. Calais Campbell had a sack today. Tavius Robinson had a sack today. Turn me up, chat. What are we talking about? Calais Campbell and Tavius Robinson, of those guys? I mean, not to say that those guys aren't good at football or anything like that. Obviously, they're dogs in their own regard. But if those guys are popping off to go along with Trey Hendrickson and Mike Green when the season comes and Zion Young potentially, it's going to be scary hours. Scary hours for the rest of the league, chat. Like the video for that, too. Some more good I want to show. Let's take a look at this, Let's take a look at this. So, offensive line play. Offensive line play. Now I'm going to get to the bad and stuff like that. I mean, apparently, Lamar Jackson was getting blitzed to hell by Brian Flores and his Vikings defense today. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes, but I did want to highlight this play from the offensive line. This was a big Derrick Henry run. Don't need the sound. But the Ravens are showing here. I mean, they're showing their hand. Look, we're running this football. Under center, Lamar Jackson gets him the ball. And what I want you to see, I'm going to freeze it right here. I'm going to freeze it right here. Because what you're looking at in the middle, kind of in the middle, like not necessarily like in the middle of like where all these players are at down here, but I'm looking at 71, Venga Ioane, who's sealing off that inside and creating the perfect rushing lane for Derrick Henry here. And then also, I'm looking at Javon Gwynn, who's standing a little bit to the left of Venga Ioane here in this screenshot. And he just absolutely throws his man out the club. Just like a bouncer, just throws him out of the club. Like the drunk fat guy who won't stop, you know what I'm saying, bothering the women in the strip club or whatever, or won't spend no more money or whatever, is just getting too belligerent, whatever. Throw him out just like that. Like the trash. Get down. What are we talking about, man? Some people might say, oh, that would be a flag in the league. It depends on what ref you get. Depends on what ref you get. Right? To me, that just looks like finishing a rep. To me, that just looks like finishing a rep. But the blocking was just chef's kiss on this play. Again, mainly from Venga Ioane, 14th overall pick. And then also Javon Gwynn, who is making a strong case to be the starting center on this team. A strong case. Okay. So that was that. that was that. And then I also want to just take a quick moment to mention how much more effective Derrick Henry looks, and I think is going to look going into the season, running the football when Lamar Jackson is under center. Because I mean, you don't have that moment of hesitation in the backfield when Lamar is giving it to him out of the gun, right? And he kind of has to charge up the full speed, and he doesn't really get there by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage. But on this play, you can tell by the time he hits the hole, he's already at freight train status. And when he's at freight train status, Derrick Henry, linebackers make business decisions, and secondary players damn sure make business decisions. And y'all know that. Okay, y'all know that. So Derrick Henry and that offensive line, they're looking good right now. Cannot wait to see more out of them. Let's go ahead and get to, how about we get to some Jacoby Lane talk, yeah? How about we get to some Jacoby Lane talk? Let me see if I can find the clip here. See, the Ravens media page, they posted a lot of, their cinematic clips and stuff like that from today. But shout out to the people who were actually at the training camp, because they gave us a lot better footage, a lot better angles and things like that we normally would not get. So here's a rep right here of one-on-one. Jacoby Lane going up against the Vikings DB here. I'm actually not sure his name, so I apologize for that. But let's take a look. So, first of all, I will say Jacoby Lane's release off the line here, not the twitchiest, right? Not the best, but the thing about Jacoby Lane is you're not looking for him to be an amazing separator. You're looking for him to get even an inch of space. Even if there's an inch of space, all you have to do is throw it up to him. Like I said last week, put the cookie jar on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. And he'll go get it every time. Right? So he actually gets interfered with here. He gets held. Gets around this DB, stacks him pretty well. He's getting held here, and he still shows late hands. He shows late hands. I don't even think it was a bad job by the DB here, because he gets his hand in there, but like, man, it's just a great rep. A great rep there by Jacoby Lane. I can't stop watching this one. Maddie Boom dropping the 5-piece in the chat. Thank you so much, Maddie. What's Maddie talking about? Maddie says, I'll be honest, I was big on Mike Green, but Zion is looking more polished and pro ready. Mike can be good, but I don't think he's ready to break out. Yeah, I mean, Mike Green's kind of been quiet. He's been a little quiet. I haven't heard too much about Mike Green in the past couple of like training camp practices. He did play in the preseason game. Didn't really hear too much about, his name being called there. But I've still got faith. Him and Zion Young. I do. Who do I think is going to be more productive this season as an outside backer? It's tough. Because I think Zion will be a little bit more powerful in terms of like setting the edge and stopping the run. But Mike Green is going to be more of a pass rush specialist. He'll get the nod on most third and longs over a Zion Young or pretty much anybody else not named Trey Hendrickson, who will be playing opposite of him, of course. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, I think, at least. But thank you so much, Maddie, for the 5-piece in the chat. That's a good observation. But back to Jacoby. Back to Jacoby Lane here. Jacoby Snatch Your Chain Lane. What's up, Afia? I see you in the chat. You don't understand what? What do we not understand? Who needs separation? Yeah, who needs separation when you can do this? Now, there is another rep of Jacoby Lane going one-on-one with a Vikings DB. That didn't look as good. Okay? He didn't look as dangerous, right? And I think this is a good time to go ahead and, actually, you know what? Let me just show the Jacoby Lane good catch from this angle too. A little bit of a wide angle there. So you can see, again, not crazy speed, not crazy separation ability. His release, again, not the best, not the most polished, but when he can even get an inch of you, he will take a mile. If he can get an inch on you, he will take a mile. And Lamar Jackson and company are learning that quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I love it. I love it. Now let's get to some of the bad. Because overall, the Ravens offense was like, it was struggling for the most part. They really couldn't get anything going in the deep passing game, especially in the 11-on-11 periods. They couldn't get anything going there. So it was a lot of quick completions. And honestly, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at a more efficient Ravens offense where they're getting the ball out quick. Lamar Jackson's not back there drifting and trying to make something happen all the time. No, I'm fine with death by a million cuts. If we want that type of offense, give it to me. Give it to me. The big plays will come. The big plays will come naturally. Right? But death by 1,000 cuts, I'll take that, because you know what that does? When you consistently destroy teams underneath and you pick them apart underneath and you take exactly what they give you, they can't blitz. They have to be way more tentative about blitzing you. So we're going to get into the bad here in a second. I'll probably bring that point back up. The last thing that was reported here that I don't think anybody got video of, Elijah Surratt beat Byron Murphy Jr. on an out route pretty convincingly. So Elijah Surratt sightings, we love to hear that, especially after his 6 catch for 61 yards or something like that in the preseason week 1 game, even though he had the fumble. Love to see him continue to stack confidence. All right. Let's get into Jacoby Lane getting clamped. Okay, so we talked about the good. Let's talk about the bad. By the way, before we transition to the bad, I want to give a shout out to the secondary. Ravens secondary was very, very good today. Bilal Koneh had himself a pick. Kyle Hamilton locked dudes up. Secondary had a great day. Keandre Jackson was awesome in special teams. So shout out to them. TJ Tampa was good too. But let's get into the bad. Jacoby Lane here on a one-on-one rep. We just watched the one where he absolutely just owns the dude with the size. Like not even like his route running ability, but just like, hey, look, throw it up to me. If I got to step on him or even an inch, I'm going to go get that football. But here's another rep where he gets jammed off the line pretty bad. And at this point right here, you've already lost the rep. You've already lost the rep. The route timing is destroyed and Jacoby Lane ends up slipping and falling here. But this was one where he got locked up. He got locked up. No Akon. Look at this. Not going nowhere. And that's within 5 yards too. It's legal. That's within about 5 yards. I mean, a little bit, maybe a little bit more than 5, but refs will allow it. Refs will allow it. But this was my biggest concern for Jacoby Lane all along. And I don't want you guys to call, Sutton's hating on Jacoby Lane. I'm not. But this was my concern. When teams get up on Jacoby Lane and say press man, they run press man on him from the outside. Is he going to be able to separate consistently at this level? Because not everything can be a jump ball. Sometimes you're going to have to beat your man. One-on-one, mano-a-mano, in press. So I think that Jacoby Lane, if anything, he would take this clip and he would learn from it. I know that this is probably something that he's been replaying on his phone since practice wrapped up earlier today. It would be for me. As we know, Jacoby Lane is very critical of himself. He's such a grown-up. Like, on the field, like when it comes to football stuff, he's such a grown-up. But has his fun, too, off the field. It's like a weird duality that you got going on with Jacoby Lane, but I love it. I love it. But apparently he's very critical of himself. I'm sure he went to the sidelines after this and talked to coaches and, hey, look, this is what I need to do better. Do you have any advice for me? Coach, I didn't like that. I want to be better. Let's work on that. Because this is embarrassing. I'm not going to lie to you. Jacoby Lane low-key got punked here. He got little boyed, right? But that's to start off the bad here. Okay. Let me see. Mike says he should have shed with his hands. He's got to spend time with the DNs. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he needs to do that knife exercise with Aaron Donald or somebody like that. Right. Got to be more active with your hands off the break. That's for sure. That's for sure. Because if you let these guys get physical on you before you can get physical with them, these are grown men. Okay. With kids and beards, Jacoby Lane. Right. And years of experience in some cases in this league. These are grown men. You can't just like brush past them. You can't be soft, especially not in this division. Especially not in this division. So, and I don't think he's soft, world class. I don't think he's soft. I I just think this is more so like just a welcome to the NFL moment. Welcome to the NFL, rookie. You know, it's just one of those. He'll get by it. It's perfect that this is happening in August, right? And not when the games start in September. It's perfect for that. But Jacoby Lane, I think, will be fine. I think he'll be fine. Let's get to some more of the bad here. Let's see. What do I have? So this was like, okay, so look. Justin Jefferson was going back and forth with the Ravens secondary. Again, I gave a shout out to the secondary a couple of minutes ago because you actually had Marlon Humphrey force 2 pass breakups on Justin Jefferson today. Justin Jefferson caught a bomb on Nate Wiggins, but the very next play, they threw another bomb to Justin Jefferson with Wiggins in coverage. Wiggins broke it up, right? So it's kind of like a soul for a soul there, right? But here, you have Justin Jefferson absolutely cooking Bilal Kone. I'll take a look. Oof, goodness, man. Look at how quick he makes Bilal Kone his shadow. Look at how quick. And look at this crossover, man. I got to slow this down. Look at this crossover. This is beautiful stuff. And I don't mean to glaze, the enemy, right? But this is just beautiful. Sets him up with his shoulders, sells the fake. The best route runners can sell the fake one way with their hands in their head very well. I don't know if you guys saw that Travis Kelce clip where he absolutely cooked Alohi Gilman in training camp yesterday. But this was like a very similar thing. Like the head fakes and the arms, like he's just does such a good job selling the route with his limbs. And that's what allows him to make Bilal Kone his shadow so early into this route and basically just have his way with him. Pause. Beautiful. Foot in the ground, sells the outside release, then gets back inside. And then look, you're at my mercy. You're at my mercy. Lord have mercy, man. That guy is good. That guy is good. He told Bilal Kone, somebody get that guy a map. Because where are you going? Jeez, man. Cheese and crackers. Listen, guys, like the video. If you have not already, welcome into the Quiet Storm Sports podcast right here on the Purple Rain podcast YouTube channel, where we do cover all things Baltimore Ravens. Listen, if you enjoy the idea of that, because the season's right around the corner, no, it's actually here. Please subscribe. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe even joining our channel membership, which comes with a lot of cool perks. You get your chat badges, special emojis. We also do call-in episodes. We do call-in episodes as well here. And if you want to call in, you can if you are a member. But on the call-in episodes, right? Let me see. What else did I want to show you guys that was bad today? Honestly, that Jacoby Lane rep was like the bad and the ugly. The bad and the ugly. Let me see. And you know what? I didn't really have too much. Here's another thing, actually, that was low-key good, but also bad at the same time. Ravens did give up a big run through the middle for Damon Claiborne, Vikings running back. But it led to nothing because he ended up fumbling on this play. Let's take a look. By the way, who was that who got blown off the ball like that? Who was that, 80? Somebody got blown off the ball. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't quite tell. Who's number 80, chat? Is that 80 or 90? I can't tell. I mean, his jersey. Look at his jersey, bro. Look at his jersey. I don't know if you guys can see that. But look at this dude's jersey after the play. It's like halfway up his stomach. You know? Damn, they're sitting on his torso. That's how you know he got blown up. I mean, you can see the hand imprints, the paw prints of where the guy established his pad level and got his hands. You can just see the paw prints on his chest. He got blown off the ball. And that's what led to that big run. But he got forgiven, again, because the running back ended up fumbling. I was trying to see who punched it out. 26, I think that says. But 26 is Rasheen Ali. I'm not sure if somebody else is wearing that number right now. But I believe that said that was number 26 who punched it out. I'm not exactly sure who that is. Again, I could be wrong though. But yeah, that was a little bit of the bad, a little bit of good, a little mixture of both there, right? But man, that dude, whoever that was, got absolutely destroyed, annihilated off the ball, annihilated. Kayvon Wallace, thank you. That was the guy who punched it out. Nice, thank you. Tactical Precision Gaming or Training, sorry, is in the chat. Says, what's good, family? What's good, Tactical Precision? What up? Ashley, what's going on, Ashley? Another member in the chat. Good evening. All right. Gilman's was way worse compared to what happened to Bilal Coney. I'll give you that. And Travis Kelce's been doing that to guys for years, man. For years. Yeah. Let me see. All right. Other reports from today. Let me see what else we have. I think I got through pretty much everything I wanted to get to here. Kyler Murray off the mark again. Yep, we got to that. Okay. So I think the moral of the story from today's training camp practice, the moral of the story was that the offense struggled. The offense was not able to get into a rhythm where they were firing on all cylinders, right? You had some bright spots, like I showed you guys the clip with the offensive line creating a big hole for Derrick Henry to run through, especially like I think running under center is going to be crucial. Running from under center is going to be crucial for this offense, right? Because Derrick Henry gets a full head of steam by the time he reaches the offensive line. So if there is any crease, any gap, and Derrick Henry doesn't need much, if he can find it, which he does a good job doing most times, he's going to be out of there. Lots of chunk runs coming this year, I promise you. And then also Lamar Jackson seemingly being a more on-time quarterback. I think that's what probably led to most of the quick throws, because normally you see Lamar Jackson, he really wants to sit back there, extend plays, wait for something to get wide open, and then throw it. But now this offseason, we've been seeing him throw with more anticipation, throwing guys open, being more on time. And again, I think that's going to benefit all of our receivers, if I'm being honest with you. He's going to benefit Zay Flowers. He's going to benefit Rashad Bateman, especially those two. Also Mark Andrews as well, because Mark Andrews does a good job of finding soft spots and zones. And if he can do that, Lamar Jackson can find him early, he'll get a lot of receptions. So I think the offense will be fine. It was just a lot of blitzing today. Again, like I said, Brian Flores has historically been known to blitz the hell out of Lamar Jackson. You guys remember the Miami game from all those years ago. It feels like eons ago. But you guys remember that Miami game, Thursday Night Football or something like that, where basically they blitzed like 60, 70% of the time. And it worked so well against Lamar Jackson. It's not even to say that Lamar Jackson can't, let me see, God Eating Penguin, thank you for the jewels. But it's not that Lamar Jackson can't get the ball out quick, but I think just his tendencies and like him always hunting for the big play makes him susceptible to defenses like Brian Flores that are just going to say, hey, look, we're just going to speed you up. We're not going to give you we're not going to give you the time to look for the spectacular play. Right. And in that case, you want to turn into a quarterback who can just drop back, hit his back foot, and then boom, ball's out. Frustrates the hell out of a pass rush. But even more importantly, it deters a defensive coordinator from just sending the house at you. It deters because, look, when you make them, like, the best way to stop a blitz is to make the defensive coordinator regret calling one. And I love the fact that Lamar Jackson is facing these type of challenges in July. Honestly, the stars have aligned, because who would have thought that the Ravens will be having a joint practice with the Vikings, of all teams, like I said, who have Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator, who I would say probably top 3 defensive coordinators who have given Lamar Jackson the most trouble over his career. Hell, probably even number one. He's at the top of my mind when I think of that list. So I love the fact that Lamar Jackson is dealing with that in August, because I feel like by September, he'll be clicking. He'll know exactly what's coming. Like, hey, look, you're going to blitz me? Cool. I'm going to utilize this new technique that my OC and my quarterbacks coach taught me, where I can hit my back foot more efficiently, be ready to throw a lot quicker than I was before. And I'm just going to dice you up with what you give me. Oh, you're running a cover zero blitz and you've got a cornerback shooting down from the nickel. Okay, I know I'm hot from that area. I'm just going to throw to the void. First down. Now what? It's like, oh well, shit. I guess we can't call the blitz now. Let's kind of drop back a little bit. Let's be more tentative. Let's just see what he wants to do. We can't just dial up a blitz. Okay, now we're just going to run Derrick Henry at you. Okay, we're just going to run Derrick Henry at you. You want to run dime? You want to put a bunch of little guys on the field? Sure, yeah. Let Derrick Henry run. Let Derrick Henry shoot through that line when they're running from under center. And there ain't nothing but safeties and and other DBs back there. Let it happen. We're going to see. We're going to see. But yeah, the offense struggled a little bit, but I do have faith in them. The defense is as advertised. It's as advertised. I mean, we've known that since the preseason week 1 game against the Eagles. And I've had time to really think about that game and what it really meant, you know. How do I explain this? You saw the defensive genius. I think that box was checked from Jesse Minter. And again, national media is not really talking about this. They're not really talking about this. But the way that Jesse Minter's defense, even with backups, had the Eagles offense in hell, like a perpetual hell throughout the entire game. It was a sight to be seen. It only makes me wonder what is going to happen when those starters go out there. Hamilton, Roquan, Trey Hendrickson, Nate Wiggins. What's going to Nnamdi Madubuike, Travis Jones? What is it going to look like then? Because if it looks like this now, and he's shutting teams down just based off a pure scheme, and he's got you and me out there. I mean, respect to all the guys who are, on the roster right now. But you get my point. Third and fourth stringers out there, making plays. And really controlling that Eagles offense. That was a controlling defense. They had the cap on the Eagles offense all night. The Eagles offense could barely pass the 50. Meanwhile, the Ravens offense was living on the Eagles side of the field. Living. If you go back and watch that game. That was one thing that I really noticed. We were living on that side of the field. So I think the defense is going to be great. The defense is going to be great. I'd rather our DBs get cooked now and learn that getting cooked during the season, both offense and defense will be ready come regular season. I agree. Ed Gray, appreciate the sub. Welcome to the Rain Gang. Welcome to the Rain Gang. Let me see. The defense is going to hold the fort down until the offense catches up. I believe so. And the offense is not far behind. It's not far behind. That's the thing. It's not far behind at all. This is literally just like the first time that they've had like real live action, the offense against other starters, like starters versus starters. It's the first time. Earlier today was basically the starters preseason game. That's basically what it was. And I was very encouraged by what I saw. Very encouraged. Biggest winners from today, I would say Rashad Bateman won. For sure. Got to put my boy Bate number 1 in terms of winners today. I'd also put Kyle Hamilton. He had a good day. And I think I just got to go Jesse Minter. Because the way that this Ravens defense so far, in this training camp practice, this joint practice, and then, like I said before, against the Eagles, it's been a suffocating defense. They've controlled their opponents. So I think Jesse Minter was a big winner on the day as well. Now, a big loser on the day, unfortunately, was Ravens center Danny Pinter. Danny Pinter, it was reported today that he had gotten rolled up on during a play, and he stayed down on the field. Couldn't put weight on his leg, and Danny Pinter ended up having to get carted off of the football field. Not encouraging news, I know, at all. Jesse Minter said after the practice was over at his interview, he said that he does not have all the details on Danny Pinter right now, but he's getting tested and we'll probably find out more soon. But Danny Pinter was seen walking around. Well, I don't even know about walking around, but he had a knee brace on. He had a brace on his leg, and that's not a good sign. He was also visibly frustrated as he was getting carted off the field. Like when guys kind of know that something's like terribly wrong. One of those. So hopefully, much like the Marlon Humphrey injury, much like the Nate Wiggins injury that lasted, 24, 48 hours. Hopefully this is the same thing. Because if there's one position group that the Ravens cannot afford to be bereft of talent in, is center. Because right now you're staring down either Javon Gwynn or Ethan Posick, who's still ramping up from that Achilles injury. You're looking at either one of them starting in week 1. I think with Ethan Posick really not being cleared for a whole lot of team drills and activities and play just yet because of that Achilles, that's not a good sign. We're about 3 weeks away from the first regular season game. It's not a good sign. I don't know if he'll be ready. So that leaves Javon Gwynn and Corey Bullock, who they haven't even been looking at to play center. He's been at guard and pretty much everywhere else. That's what they're relying on. Now, I do want to applaud Javon Gwynn for looking good against the Eagles in week 1 preseason, and then also looking good today at the joint practice. I showed you guys the clip earlier where he throws the guy out the club. That's encouraging news. That's encouraging to see. So if we're looking at power rankings right now, in terms of like who's most likely to start at center for the Ravens week 1 in Indianapolis, I'm going Javon Gwynn number 1. I'm going, and again, we don't know all the details about Pinter yet, but it doesn't sound good. And of course, I'll report back on that tomorrow. But it doesn't sound good. So I'll go Javon Gwynn number 1. I'll go Ethan Posick number 2. If they can get him going before the season starts. And then pretty much everybody else underneath. 3, I'd maybe say Danny Pinter. And 4, again, like I said, Corey Bullock. I don't even think they're looking his way to play center. Right? So, but yeah, prayers up for Danny Pinter, man. I need him to be good. I need him to be okay. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Dexter Lawrence is doing the Birdman hand rub. Oh, yeah, bro. If that interior, because look, I have no problems with Venga Ioane. He looks as advertised already. Plays with aggression. Looks for work, right? We mentioned all that on Monday's episode. And then John Simpson is John Simpson. You know what I mean? He's not going to, blow your hair back or anything like that. But I think he can be solid. He can be steady. Unlike a guy like Andrew Voorhees. Unlike a guy like Daniel Faalele, right? Who I ripped into earlier on this episode. Not ripped into, but more so ripping into John Harbaugh. Because Faalele didn't do anything wrong at the end of the day, except decide to be a football player, professional football player. Could have done other things. Just my opinion. Like sumo wrestler or something. I don't know. Just other things. Anywho. Yeah, I that interior I do have a little bit of concern of, only because of the center position and the uncertainty around the center position. Okay. Get well soon, Danny, for sure. Should we shut Lane down for the rest of the preseason, says Nikes? No. I think you let him play, because he played what? probably like a quarter and a half, almost a full half, I'd say ramp him. Well, not ramp him. I'd say slow him down to about cut that in half. Basically, first quarter. First quarter. He's getting plenty of work and opportunities in these joint practices right now. In the game against Minnesota this weekend, I think he should get 1 quarter of play and sit him down. Then in the third game against the Commanders, maybe a drive or 2. That's all it takes. That's all I'll need. But I don't think we should shut him down for the rest of the preseason. I don't. Gwen is on the rise for sure. Looks like y'all having a time in the chat, huh? Having a time in the chat. I love that. Love that for y'all. Okay. But listen, I do have to go ahead and wrap up this stream. I got through pretty much everything I needed to get through. If I didn't get to it, I'm going to be really mad at myself, but I'll get to it tomorrow on the main pod. But I just want to let you guys know I will be live right after this on Charm City Sidelines podcast. They have invited me over there, and I'm going to go over there and chop up some Ravens with them. So it should be a lot of fun. So if you do still want to listen to some Ravens content, get some different perspectives, definitely look up Charm City Sideline. Again, we're going live on there in probably about 12 minutes. So again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. And I will catch you guys in the next episode of PRP if I don't already catch you guys on Charm City. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and peace. May purple reign, of course.
You're watching Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe for more Ravens content.